Following is an interview with Noah Henderson. Noah is a musician, and for 20 years he drove a county transit bus. On October 9th, he lost his apartment on Hopper Avenue. And the trauma is being compounded now by the difficulty in finding a place to live.
It's been difficult. I have had suicidal thoughts. I know what to do to avoid them, which is go be with people. So I'm attending support groups. I'm being honest about my feelings. And I've found that some people can't handle that kind of honesty and that kind of emotional predicament. I've lived with it most of my life. And even though it feels really deep and sad and heavy sometimes, I know that I'm going to come back from it. I was asleep. It was about 1:45 in the morning, and I heard yelling outside. And I thought it was just some crazy lady doing her thing, went back to sleep. Moments later, I heard crashing and banging, and I didn't know what that was, so I got up and went out to investigate. As I crossed my living room, the long windowsill was bright orange. And I thought, there must be some guy in a jacked up truck with orange headlights out there. I'm gonna go get him out of here. And I opened my door, and on my left there was a wall of flames about 10 feet away, right there. Right across the parking lot from me, 2 cars were on fire that were in the carport, and the building was fully engulfed. And I remember thinking it was just unreal. I felt like this isn't right. This isn't happening. I didn't know if I would have time to get dressed or to collect anything because the fire was right there. I could almost reach out and touch it, from my front door. So I put on my pants and a shirt, my shoes. I grabbed my wallet and my keys, and luckily I made it out without having to run through the fire. But it was happening really fast, and there was like a tornado in the parking lot, and the crashing and banging had been large pieces of debris. It was literally, and I mean that word carefully, it was literally a tornado with stuff spinning, with fire in the middle of it, and things flying all over the place. It was scary. I got in my car, which thankfully was okay, and drove out. I should have stopped and knocked on doors. I didn't think to do that. It wasn't that I was afraid to or was unwilling. I just didn't think to do it. I regret that. On the AM radio, I heard that there was a shelter being set up at the Finley Center on West College Avenue. So I headed over there. I was already going in that direction, and I ended up at Finley. And this was an interesting reaction to right after the fire. I felt happy. I felt relieved. I felt a sense of freedom. All of the things that were visual reminders of my depression were gone. The dark enclosed house, all the stuff piled up in the way, the stacks of laundry not done, all of those things which I used to feel bad, they were gone. And I felt pretty good. At the Finley Center, where I was for a couple of weeks, I trained with the Red Cross to be a volunteer, and I went around and I talked with people. And many of them and some of my friends said, I can't believe you're so okay with everything that's happened after the fire. It was remarkable. And I thought, awesome, my depression's gone. Life is going to be great. A few weeks after that, I found out different. I started feeling triggered. I started feeling PTSD responses. And there are reminders that I still have the depression to deal with. But there's some recognition that something interceded and changed. And if that could happen, then maybe I could reach that again. There wasn't and isn't any alternative housing in Sonoma County. Housing for poor people, which included me because I didn't make a lot of money, you can't live on $30,000 or even $40,000 a year in Sonoma County. Apartments like this one, this is $1,445 a month, and it is exactly the same size and standard of quality style that my previous burned out apartment was. Only it's $435 more by virtue of the fire. Now, I've been told that there's some law or policy or statute in which gouging is not permitted, and gouging is defined. I have not seen anybody who's doing these kinds of things brought up on charges or dealt with in any official capacity by any of our law enforcement or our civic leaders, including the city council and the board of supervisors. So, there's no place for us to go. And in fact, in a few months, when I run out of my 401k that I had from 20 years of bus driving, that'll be gone pretty soon. And I won't be able to afford food, medicine, anything else. Something needs to be done.